Hey, how are you? It's not like anyone imagined because we didn't have a script and we didn't have like moves. So basically, they put me, John put me in front of a camera, his father's videotape camera. So we didn't have any money for that. And he was like, okay. And I would just do martial art moves. I sat in front of a camera about 8 or 10 hours a day for 5 days. Yeah, shooting and looking at the tape. Me and John would look at the tape. We didn't have anything for the programmer, so Ed didn't really take part in the creation until way later, until we had something, because there was nothing for him there wasn't anything for him to program or take a look at. We didn't have, so and during those 5 days, we really created a path, like the path to make the game. The first 2 days, all I did was shoot moves and do stuff. And then on the third day, John was like, you know what? Do one move 3 times and then change it. So like if I was punching like this 3 times, and then all of a sudden I'd punch like this 3 times, and then I'd punch like this, and then I'd do this, do this, do this, do this, and I do this. So I would change that move as many times as I could think of, and then he'd be like, for instance, this move, I did this move, and then he's like, do that with a fist. And so later on, that became what everybody knows. Because later on, when we looked at this on a videotape, you couldn't, because it's not a professional quality, it's a home quality, you couldn't see the fingers. So it looked like I was holding a fist. So there was really no, you know what I mean? So we kind of learned from that. And we're like, oh, okay, we're going to do this. Originally, the concept was you wouldn't be able to control most of the combinations. You would hit the buttons for the combinations, and then I'd do all the combinations. We wanted a lot of things that you see in Mortal Kombat later on were stuff we created on the first game. On the first game, Liz wanted friendships. Carlos and Rich Kano wanted tag teams. I wanted brutalities. To have everybody has 3 fatalities, but one was a brutality, like really brutal. Like I have filmed, like I punched a guy hole in the guy's head, but when we looked at it, John was like, "Nah, that's too violent." Even though the game was violent, we thought it for Mortal Kombat 1 with that move was too violent. But later on, they show that. So a lot of ideas, X-rays. We wanted X-rays. We wanted so much in number 1, but there was no room for no technology at the time. When we did the fatalities, then we went back and we didn't even think of that until one day. I thought of when we were thinking of like, oh, we're gonna brutalize somebody, make a brutality. Then we're like, oh, we should fatality, some kind of way to finish him. And then we filmed some, and then later on we had to come in and film the reactions. Like my Johnny Cage was the first fatality. So later on, when we were filming, like Liu Kang was the last one. Liu Kang, I would have to go and film some more stuff with Liu Kang to do that fatality. So kind of backtrack as we came up with ideas. For number 2, when they were like, hey, we need a cool projectile, something to throw at for Reptile. And I was like, let him spit acid. And then I told him, remember the Amazing Spider-Man? There was a cartoon called The Amazing Spider-Man, and he fought the Lizard Man, and the Lizard Man would spit acid at you. So Reptile spits acid because I remember a cartoon with Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, when I was growing up. So yeah, things like that, or Kiss of Death. I thought that was my idea. Sonya's Kiss. I created that. Katana Molina's fatalities. I created that. Shang Tsung lifting you up, stealing your soul. That was my idea. So yeah. It was good. It was good. I think because who's in charge now should have like taken care of us. Like he's they should have taken care of the people who will help create the game, but instead they shut him off and took all the credit. So it would be hard for me to trust them. But people think we already created Mortal Kombat, and people think that they're creating it again, but in reality they're just adding to it. So if they're really stuck on their ideas, they won't listen to better ideas because they only want what their limited vision is. You know what I mean? In my opinion, with the story, John Tobias created the story. So without really Tobias on there, the story is all crazy right now. The person who created that is not there. So yeah, so it's all crazy. Yeah, the characters were all created by John and the other people at Midway later. Like when we were filming, Johnny Cage was Hollywood guy. Yeah, because he would because he was actually Johnny Cage is modeled after Daniel Rad. The company changed it over to he's modeled after Jean-Claude Van Damme, and later on even John is like he's modeled after Jean-Claude Van Damme. But when I was creating the game, I was like, if they would have told me, hey, this is a Jean-Claude Van Damme character, I would say, oh, bye. You're not creating any Mortal Kombat. So, but the originally idea was Daniel Rad from Iron Fist. So Johnny Cage is Daniel Rad from Iron Fist. I think later on in number 3 they changed it more into Jean-Claude Van Damme character, like funny guy. But at the first 2 he was definitely more serious, like that, like Iron Fist. Yeah.